We are in the build up to our summer pay-per-view Hollyweird. We do start off the show with a pre-show promo and then a pre-show match, just kind of get people on the cards and test chemistries out. We have Professor Nero kind of warning of like the demons of rage and the path of destruction they are going to bring to HGC, just kind of continuing hyping them as heels, even though they're not in matches and they're not necessarily in the tag title picture, but they should be. So that is something that we will kind of utilize as like a story beat going forward that they're not getting the attention they deserve. That said, just to get them on the card. After that, we test out Peter Valentine teaming with Alex Braun, see if we get lucky with some chemistry there. Because Peter Valentine is not great, Alex Braun's pretty good. Feel like they would hopefully help each other out. Of note, Electrico, we re-signed him to an exclusive deal just so that way we can utilize him, hopefully build him up going forward. He's 85 star quality, so I really hope to take advantage of that and see if we can get him going. But we do start off the main show with Eric Tower instigating a number one contenders match between Cowboy and Liberty that will main event our show tonight, where Eric Tower says he will defend his title versus the winner of that at the pay-per-view Hollyweird, which is end of August of '97, so we're 5 weeks away. After that, we have Sid Streets saying, since Dusty doesn't want to be in a tag team with me or doesn't want to fight me, I'm opening the challenge to anyone right now who wants it. Come fight me. Danny Rushmore, our poor guy who gets jobbed out left and right, accepts it. He gets beat by Sid Streets. This is just to get Sid Streets a win and to kind of continue the angle of him and Dusty not necessarily getting along, but not fighting, and kind of seeing how we get to a resolution there. We follow that up with a continuation of the Troy Tornado mocking Rummy Heartthrob, where Troy Tornado defeats Landmass here. This is, of course, to get popularity boosted to Troy, as he's mid 20s, so I'm hoping he gets to that plus 4 or 5 range to get to around 30. And he's just like, he started off as like an all-American good boy, but I found him being an arrogant, cocky, 19-year-old immature guy as a better character, considering his mic skills. So originally, I was gonna have him turn heel to team with Damien Carville to be like the anti-American young kid that eventually will turn face and such. But I feel like he could be that mainstay babyface that can talk in the cruiserweight division. So we'll see what happens there. Speaking of Angle, Romeo Heartthrob beats down Troy Tornado post match. So I feel like Romeo Heartthrob, he will probably take it like an L in his feud a little bit, but also like come out winning, as I feel like he needs to be established as like a upper mid card heel. Now, if you remember last week, RP Jr. was found unconscious backstage. We have Jesse Christian confront Money Walker saying, "Did you do it? After I saved your ass, RP Jr. talked a lot of crap about you. So, did you take him out?" Money Walker just kind of blows it off. He's too cool for school, and doesn't give any sort of inclination if he attacked RP Jr. or not. We follow that up with Monty Walker defeating Grunt here. If you remember, Grunt and Stink beat up Monty Walker post match. Monty Walker gets the win here over Grunt, and this is to get a little bit of popularity boost for Monty Walker. We're gonna try to get him up the card now. He's probably gonna face Jimmy Power next week, and then after that, I gotta think of who we'll see. But yeah, I kind of want to get him in a mid card range, lower mid card range, as fast as possible, so we can continue the angle with him, Jesse Christian, and RP Jr. Jesse Christian's around 30 popularity, so I want to get Monty up there pretty quickly. Damien Carville, who's a commentator in Jeb Langley's match last week, kind of commentates about the match or gives commentary of, well, okay, commentates and commentary. You get it. He talks about the match. Jeb Langley interrupts him, says, just mocks him with hijinks, who's your daddy, stuff like that. Just kind of taking the piss out of Damien Carville. Carville kind of just, again, being a heel. Nothing mind blowing there. Angle's pretty solid so far. Jeb Langley's just a kind of mid card, lower babyface, but fun to use. We have Jack Bruce kind of confronting the cruiserweight babyfaces for the most part, sans Troy Tornado, and of course the heels of Alex Braun and Chris Perkins, who I think I'm gonna let his contract run out, sign someone else, and rotate those like cruiserweights around. But Electrico and Dark Eagle and Electrico and Dark Eagle 100% going to be mainstays. Golden Fox we'll see. But Jack Bruce gives warning to them saying he's entering the cruiserweight division, and he's going to face Golden Fox or Electrico next week. We have Travis Sentry and BLZ Bub talking crap about Sam Strong after taking him out a couple weeks ago, where they beat him down. So this is a way to continue that feud, even though I didn't have Sam Strong as a thing, so it didn't happen. Here we get the tag team specialist a win, a much needed win, where Joel Bryan picks up a win over War Eagles. This is to hopefully give Joel Bryan a little bit of popularity rub, as he's like 23, so hopefully we can get him to that mid 30s. Paul Steadyfast is mid 30s. Robert Oxford's mid 40s. Eric Tyler is 60s. So I feel like if we can get Joel Bryan to that mid 30s, 40s range, keep Paul there, we'll have two guys who can take falls to up and coming baby faces and continue building up a roster. We have Tommy Cornell, speaking of building up a roster, defeating Jason Jackson. Tommy Cornell, he was at 21, 23 popularity, so hopefully he gets up to like 25 here or higher. I'm not going to push him to the moon. We're just trying to get him to that 35-ish range. Pretty much I want him to be able to have his own matches and, be without having to cover with Rip. So we have Ripcord, who is with Barry Bowen, and Brent Hill is his manager. So Ripcord sets up Frankie Future versus Brent Hill as our main event next week. This is to continue the Frankie Future versus the Syndicate feud. Ultimately, I promise it will end at the pay-per-view as, 8 months out of the Ripcord Protege storyline. We follow that up. I should have swapped these around maybe, but we have Coach Dick confronting the Blazing Flames, saying, "You know what? My guys that denied you a tag title shot. You went out and attacked, their leader RP Jr. And for that, I'll give you your tag title shot. And they're going to show you you're nothing, you're worthless, you're over the hill." Just rips into them, while Larry and Brian are just kind of standing there, not necessarily emotionless because they're not great actors or performance guys. But the Blazing Flames deny any involvement of RP Jr. being attacked. I think you got to remember here, Coach Dick is his father, so naturally he's a little, aggressive in nature and defensive. So this is to give the Blazing Flames the title shot versus the Vesties at the pay-per-view and circumvent any number one contenders match versus Demons of Rage. And, I guess the Island Boys, Rico Santana, Richard Blood, and I guess maybe the tag specialist, but we're kind of building our tag division. And then our main event, so-so match. Liberty defeats Cowboy Ricky Dale, clean with no interference or hoopla. Babyface versus babyface match that's just, um, clean and cut. Pretty decent show across the board. I'm just hoping that, it's, hopefully you get some popularity going here. All right, so let's see. One sec. All right, sorry, I had to pause it for a sec. All right, so we make another decent sized profit here. We're still going to lose money over, we're still, God, the backstage has been a little bit of a thing. I did give Sam Strong off like the time during his injury, so he'll be back in September in game as a way to kind of hopefully get him away from the backstage. So 81, so I think we lost again. Yeah, we did lose, but that's fine. Let's see if there's anything of note here. Elijah Black, I think that might be his debut. Let's see if we see, what's his name? Who is the, okay, Patriots. That's, okay, I thought that was a ready-made team. Nothing of note there. Pretty solid show for them. A ladder match in the middle of the card. They defend the titles. Yeah, pretty good match across the board. Coach Dick doesn't like Paul Steadyfast. That's fine on me. Charlie Homicide. All right, so let's check Troy Tornado. Let's check Joel Monty. Troy, Tommy, Joel Monty. All right, Troy. All right, he is at that 30 mark, which we wanted. That's perfect. Again, Southwest is what we're looking at. Tommy, I hope mid-20s. Okay, that's fine. We'll take that. So now that I gave Tommy back-to-back weeks of wins, I'll probably not get him a win. Maybe I should use Barry. I'm not going to use Barry. Barry's going to be long-term of like, he's fine in the ring, but we will use him a little more sparingly in the ring because he's the muscle, so he'll be part of the beatdowns and all that, and we'll get him over organically that way. All right, not worried about him. So yeah, so Paul, mid 30, lower mid 30s, that's fine. Monty. So he went from 16 to 18. So he'll face Jimmy Power next week, who's at 23. So hopefully those just swap, where Monty gets a 23, Jimmy gets Jesse Christian 25, like I said. Jack Bruce mid 30s, happy with that. Frankie's at around 30. I feel like I feel like maybe Frankie will win next week. Just get the rub from the thing, and then Joel Bryant was the last one because nope, only went up one. He went up from 23 to 24 with a victory over Warren, who's like lower 30s. So, and Warren went down one. It's fine. Um, but yeah, I mean, pretty much a lot of 50-50 booking. Not gonna lie. Um, Obviously, Ripcord and Sam Strong are pretty protected as much as possible. Well, I guess even Rip has been like 50-50 or 60-40. But yeah, a lot of like 50-50 booking where we'll get a guy over, bring him down a little bit, get him over more, get him down a little bit. But it's just the nature of building the roster. And hopefully, yeah, we get everybody to a point to when we get on Ace, hopefully by end of the year. I feel like that should be a guarantee. Um, we can really get um, the rocket going. And yeah, money wise, let's see here if there is a no workers. Look how much in bonuses we gave out this month already. Just because Sam Strong was upset, Sid Streets was upset, so it's just a lot of that. Um, but we're getting better to a point. I feel like we're gonna turn a profit hopefully by the next year. Well, we'll see how much money we get when we go to Ace, but so far so good. And yeah, we'll leave it here. I'll talk to you guys next time. And we'll cover Dave, I think, when there's like an episode that's a little bit shorter and all that. Don't want these episodes too long.